Hey everyone, welcome back. We have a little bit of news to cover. A BLM leader has come out to support Donald Trump against the Democrat Party. He says the Dems have racist policies and we're not stupid.
Wow.
Kelvin, I want to start off by asking you, okay, when you see this headline,
hmm
how do you immediately feel?
there's part of me that feels very vindicated, to be honest with you. I think I've always been a supporter of Black Lives Matter as a movement, right? To highlight the inequality or the inequity that we see in the policing system. But the BLM organization, in and of itself, didn't really stand very much for the things that it was purportedly pushing for, right? There was a lot of kind of side talk about destroying the nuclear family and doing this and doing that and stuff that, obviously is not stuff that that I believe in. But what really makes me pique my interest at an article like this is that the Democrats are in trouble.
Yeah.
They're in
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of trouble. They need us to win. They need black people to win. And I think that we've been ignored and used as political pawns by this specific party for far too long. And what excites me is that black people are starting to wake up and realize that they're being used, they're being played for a fool. And I don't say that necessarily to be like, oh, I want all black people to switch sides and start, voting Republican. What I see here is an opportunity for black people to start thinking for themselves, right? For the political class to start seeing us not as this stupid monolith that's going to vote for them no matter what, but as a force to be reckoned with that they have to think about when they're making decisions. I mean, look at some of this rhetoric this man is putting out. It's the duplicity of the Democrats, the hypocrisy. He says, "We are not stupid. The brothers are not stupid. We understand when someone's for us and when someone is not, and it is obvious that the Democratic Party is not for us." And for those of you that have watched our last episode, neither of the parties are for us, but we've been played for so long in the black community saying, oh, well, the Democrats like us. The Democrats are for us. The Democrats are this. The Democrats are that. They care about us, the lowly black folks, right? We're starting to wake up and see that they just use us as political pawns. I mean, I was very offended, to be honest with you, when Joe Biden says, if you don't vote for me, you're not black, right? Like,
Yeah.
first of all, Joe, who are you talking to?
That was wild. That was, you know, Trump for all his you know, gaffes. I think that was a pretty huge one on the part of Biden.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? The fact that we let him get away with it was concerning for me. I mean, look at this paragraph right here. We've been used and abused for so long by that party. They don't value our vote. This is something that I've been trying to get people to understand for so long. Politicians and political parties do not care about you. They care about your vote. Once they have the vote, you're not that important anymore. You're not that critical to the mission. And it goes back to the point that Democrats need to wake up, man. They need to wake up. Rolling this 85-year-old or however old he is, former racist, right? And Joe Biden, who nobody wants
Hmm.
to run, is not a winning strategy for them.
Racial
And
jungle.
and Republicans, right? If they're looking at winning, they need to return to trying to earn the black vote, right? That's
Absolutely.
that's the problem. That's the problem with politicians in general. They're doing everything in their power not to earn votes. That's what it is. The game has become, how can we guarantee votes, gerrymander districts so that our party wins that district, and fudge the numbers to make sure that we are in power. They need to wake up. The growing rash of independent political thought, as well as black people coming out and saying, "Hey, we're not voting Democrat just because anymore." That's a problem for both parties, but it should help them return to the world where, can we just win elections with ideas? Can we win elections with common sense principles? You know what I'm saying? Like this, I don't know, it's probably been 20 years now, almost 15, 20 years, but this extreme polarization to the left or to the right is not helpful to anybody.
No,
And black
no,
people are starting to
it's
wake
not.
up and realize that they're not a pawn in this game anymore, and I couldn't be happier.
Do you think that there is an issue inside of the black community with pressuring each other to continue to be a monolith for the Democrat Party?
I think there is some. Honestly, I think with my people, we're kind of raised, especially in this day and age, to think that the Democrats like us, right? And I think part of that is because the Republican Party doesn't even court our vote. They don't care to earn our vote, right? Like they'll roll out some they'll roll out one black guy and be like, look how diverse we are, right? Like Ben Carson, look at this. Like we're the most diverse. You know what I'm saying? Like when you look at the Democratic Party, you do see diversity in terms of ethnicity and race. You don't see a lot of that on the Republican side, right? I think you're seeing more of it, which is a really good thing.
Oh, yeah, I would say in the last four, I mean, even 8 years, 2016, the Republican side of the candidate bench was definitely more diverse than the Democrat side. But you're right, the Democrats do a better job of putting non-white people in the positions where they're going to be on camera a lot more, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Their messaging has a lot more, minority representation.
And I'll say
Absolutely.
this to answer your question, I do think there is some pressure from within our I guess race, but within the black community there is some pressure because we've been conditioned to believe that the Democrats are the ones that like us. They're the ones that are fighting for our rights. They're the ones that are doing this. And a lot of that goes back to Lyndon B. Johnson, right? And some of the key signature legislation that he passed that benefited us. But I think it's a matter of conditioning also on both sides, right? Because we've been conditioned basically by society to believe one way. But then when you look at it within our community, the moment you start coming out as a black conservative, you get labeled an Uncle
Hmm.
Tom, right?
Yep.
So it just depends, man. It really depends on who you're talking to. But I'm seeing more content like this pop up in the media, which is a good thing, right? Black people are starting to wake up and start saying like, was my life better under so-called racist Trump, or has my life been better under proven racist Joe Biden? And so far, it's not been great. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing that we're waking up. But my concern ultimately is I don't want party switching. I want free thinking black
Free
community.
thinking. Absolutely. And of course I'm not a member of the black community, right? But from an outside perspective looking in, I think in my opinion, I think what we're looking at too is the realization that the Democrat Party is no longer the party of the working people. They might have been. We had a changeover, right? Everybody knows Democrat Party, what was, the racists back in the day.
Yeah.
They started the KKK, Jim Crow laws, all of that, right? Like the
Hmm.
South, it was Democrat South back when it was very, very difficult for black people, right?
Yeah.
And then we had the Great Depression, and in and around the Great Depression is when the Democrat Party actually kind of became the party for the working people. But
Yeah.
now and especially after the tech boom, where we had a lot of young, massive amounts of money
Hmm.
dump into just the ecosphere of our, of our political spectrum, of our society, right? Our culture.
Hmm.
We see this swing towards leftism, and the Democrat Party became the very popular party. Integrated
Hmm.
in all the media, social media, tech, all of that, right? But with that comes a socioeconomic shift where now the Democrats are the party of the elite. It's the wealthy elite, right? We look at statistics, and it shows Democrats are the most educated. I will say education does not equal intelligence. It equals
Formally,
perseverance.
formally educated,
For,
formally
for
educated.
formally, yes, yes. Um, but no, I think this just highlights kind of the elitism
Yeah.
that comes from the Democrat Party, and I, the Republicans need to do some serious work getting their house in order. But to say
Yeah.
that they're not the party of the working people at this point in 2023, I think is a little silly too, because you look at every blue collar worker, every dude working in the sewer we pretty much know how they're voting, right? And it's been shifting that way. I think we're looking at a shift of the Republicans are now going to become the party of the working class, and the Democrats are the party of, the wealthy elite coastal cities, large cities,
Yeah.
and by and large, socioeconomics is just going to play a larger part, right?
Yeah, I think
When
I'd have to push back just a little bit on the Republicans becoming the party of the working class. I see your point. I don't disagree with it, but I will say the one thing that will separate the Republican Party from the working class, if that's where they're headed, the one thing that is going to hinder their ability to earn the working class vote is their love and their admiration and support for big corporations.
yes,
Right. And I know most parties love big corporations. Don't let anybody pretend to you that they don't. Right. Both of them do. But to be the party of the working class, you're going to have to support unions because, like you're talking about, blue collar guys in Ohio, Pennsylvania, those guys are union guys, right? They got
they
union
are
jobs. They want their protections. They want good wages. They want, their health care, right? Unions are are a part of the fold there, and Republicans today are, they're
pretty
categorically
anti-union.
pretty
Yeah.
anti-union, so they're going to have a hard time courting that base. I think they have an opportunity to be a voice for the working man, but they got to get their ship in order, and they have to divorce their love and support for all things big corporation, right? Like, we want everybody to make the
Hmm.
most money. I get it. You and I are capitalists, but there is a limit to capitalism, right? There's a limit to how much you're going to be able to do and how much you're going to be able to earn in light of not having monopolies and making sure that we have fair trade on the market. So I agree with you, but I also think the Republicans have a lot of work to do if that's
Oh,
their goal, if that's what
absolutely.
they're pushing for, they have to, as you said, they have to get their house in order. But really, and we're gonna let you guys go here in a minute. We just thought this was really interesting, something that we had to jump on. Really, what we are
Oh yeah.
seeing out of this statement by a BLM leader out in Rhode Island is political parties. You guys need to pay attention. You guys cannot just assume that you're going to get anybody's votes. You guys need to focus more on earning the votes than assuming that you can just have them, and then drawing maps to make sure that you can get them. Stop playing it safe. Be willing to compete for our vote. That's what the people want. Compete with
Hmm.
ideas, compete with support for things that matter to the people, and you'll earn our support. If the Democrats think they're just going to get the black vote, they might for another 2 or 3 elections, but we're waking up as a people and we're not going to be taken advantage of. And that's what you're seeing in this article. And honestly, as one of the co-founders here of the Common Sense Corps, I couldn't be more happy to see um, a historically oppressed group of people who have now been oppressed in different ways wake up and realize that there is power. We have power. People cannot win elections without us. So,
I
it's
mean,
good.
the black community for a very long time now has been cultural trendsetters,
Oh yeah.
and I love the fact that there's this kind of wake up, right? Like we talk about wokeness, and we're going to talk about wokeness more, but we talk about wokeness and being awake, and I think being awake to, for the black community, a political party who, you know, who they've been aligned with for so long, yet nothing has changed. I love to see the wake up. If nothing is changing, you must stop voting the same way every time. If nothing is getting better for you, you have to take a look at those people that are making promises and not sticking by them, and don't keep giving them your vote. So yeah, I love to see it. I'd love to see more of this. I love to see Americans waking up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, folks, that's all we have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Common Sense Core. Not sure what went on with my camera there at the end. I think I have a baby crying in the background. We appreciate you. And until next time, I'm Kelvin. He's Nate. And you guys have a great day.
Peace.